Good morning. This is TraXX Momentum's first hour. Once again, bringing you a bonus feature. This time, getting ready and getting set for the unveiling and tabling of the 12th Malaysia Plan, all about stimulating growth and enhancing competitiveness in the region. This morning, we have the privilege to be speaking to Dato Ahmad Zamri Khairuddin, who is the Director of the Regional Development Division under EPU, Economic Planning Unit, under the purview of the Prime Minister's Department, right here on this bonus feature. Yeah, thank you so much for being with us, Dato. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, Dato. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Yeah.
We appreciate you being with us this morning, taking your time out from your busy schedule. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Now, we are, of course, ramping up towards the unveiling or details of the 12th Malaysia Plan, yeah?
Yeah.
That's right. Perhaps maybe to begin, Dato, if you could be so kind to share with us overall, how is actually the National Development Plan implemented? How is that done and so on?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kong Yu. Okay, first of all, I'd like to express my appreciation to the TraXX FM for giving us the time to present to you, to the listener, on the pre-tabling of 12 Malaysia Plan, which we are going to plan to be tabled in Parliament on the 12th of on the 27th of September, by the Prime Minister. We'll be launching that in Parliament.
Okay.
And then just to review what are the National Development Planning, as you have mentioned just now, the overall, the National Planning, it consists of 3 stages, namely the long-term, medium-term, and also the short-term development planning. So for the long-term, for example, we have the new economic policy. There's the range of planning is between 10 to 30 years. Yeah? For new economic policy, the span is about 20 years. We have the Vision 2020, which span for a period of 30 years. The National Development Policy, National Vision Policy, and lately the Wawasan Kemakmuran Bersama, Mr. Kong, is 20 years planning Wawasan Kemakmuran Bersama, or the Shared Prosperity Vision. So these are the long-term development planning. We have the medium-term, the 5-year development plan. We are going to launch the 12th Malaysia Plan in September. It's part of the medium plan. We have actually launched 14 Malaysia Plan before, 2 Malaysia Plan, or we call it Malaya Plan before Malaysia Plan. We have 2 Malaya Plans, and we have 12 Malaysia Plan upcoming to the 12th Malaysia Plan. So we have actually a total of 14 medium-term plan. And the short-term plan is implemented to the budget, annual budget, being handled by the Ministry of Finance. These are the short-term plan, which only spent for 1 year. So the Ministry of Finance is going to launch the short-term plan in October this year.
That's
so
right.
There are three classification of development plan: short-term, medium-term, and also the long-term.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so budget, like you were saying, short-term plan that happens every year. Our unveiling for 2022 will be coming up very, very soon also.
Very soon after the tabling of the 12 Malaysia Plan, the Ministry of Finance will table the 2022 annual budget.
That's right.
You're right.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Dato, medium-term plans. Now, how are these done? Because they are, a lot of times people would say that, when it comes to economic planning and these major things, sometimes, especially for the medium to longer term plans, maybe the Rakyat doesn't really have a say. But how are medium term plans prepared, actually?
Yeah, medium plan is, I say, the 12, one of the medium plan, for example, the 12 Malaysia Plan, this so-called medium plan is extensively done through the what we call the both top-down and bottom-up approach. The top-down, actually, the EPU is the one is doing all this macroeconomic framework as a central agency. We're working with the Ministry of Finance and also Bank Negara to come up with the overall macroeconomic framework, and then we will coordinate it and with the agencies at the bottom level. So these are the top-down. And the bottom-up approach is involved very much extensive engagement with stakeholders, with the ministries and the agencies, the state government, local government, the CSO. So all being done through extensive engagement with the relevant stakeholders. And then this comes next is the development budget. After we have come up with the overall macroeconomic framework, then the ministries and agencies will receive the guidelines and submit the proposal for budget, for 5-year development budget, and this will be aligned to the objective of the 12 Malaysia Plan. So after this, after we have extensively engaged with all the stakeholders, we will actually bring up this proposal, policies, strategies, and also initiatives to the National Development Planning Committee. This is the highest ranked committee by the government, among the government officials. This committee is chaired by the Chief Secretary to the government and the members, including all the Secretary Generals of the line ministries. And then after being endorsed by the National Development Planning Committee, we submitted for endorsement by Special Committee to the Prime Minister, and also later on to the Cabinet for approval. And after the Cabinet approved, that it will be tabled to the Parliament, Mr. Kong, by the Prime Minister. Right. That's the process that we are taking to, to prepare this extensive engagement with all the stakeholders. That's the normal things that EPU is done before.
Right. The process flow, yeah? Thank you for walking us through that flow. This is something I'm sure people are curious about in terms of getting ready for the 12th Malaysia Plan, but performance-wise for the 11th Malaysia Plan, right? How was the GDP growth performance of the states in Malaysia during this period? And which states recorded above the national average? Can you tell us?
Okay, this is part of the preparation of 12 Malaysia Plan, in which we review the performance of the what are the achievement against the targets of the 11 Malaysia Plan. So for the states that I mentioned just now, we also monitor the progress of the growth of different states in Malaysia, in tandem with our policies to develop the economic of different states, of different regions in Malaysia. So for the state, for example, for the 11 plan, we have recorded a positive growth. Thank God for all the states and for the 11 plan. The Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur, Johor and Sarawak remain major contributor to national economy in 11 plan and also in last year, 2020. And then the 7 states, Federal Territories, Selangor, Penang, Kelantan, Perak, Kedah, Johor and Sembilan also recorded growth that is which are above the national average of 2.7% per annum during the 11 plan period. So this growth of the growth of this state are mostly and predominantly led by the services and manufacturing sector. So we have states like Selangor that have during the 11 Malaysia Plan achieve a 4% annual average growth rate, the highest among the states. And we have also various states that have recorded high growth, and we have we have seen that Sabah and Sarawak is are two states that have recorded slow growth in for Malaysia Plan. So the growth rate varies from state to state, depending on what they are focusing on. And for this state, they are registered lower growth. We are focusing them this state during the 12th Malaysia Plan. There are more effort going to be done to the state that have recorded lower growth.
That makes a lot of sense, right? So we're going to catch up the states which are recording or have recorded lower growth. How will the gap, Dato, in socio-economic development between states can be reduced? In which ways you can share with us now?
Okay. One of the priorities for us in the 12th Malaysia Plan is to reduce the gap between states, between the regions. We know that some states lag behind with others compared to other states because they are, some of them are predominantly dependent on commodities. So the state that we are focusing on will be six the less developed states, namely Perlis, Kedah, Kelantan, Terengganu, and like I said before, Sabah and Sarawak. So this state will be, there are potential for this state to move up the economy in the future. We'll be stimulating them through, collaboration with state government, with within state and federal government, strengthen our regional development planning, also implementation, and also coordination. Most of the states are lacking in the basic infrastructure, so we are focusing on that to move up the development of this six states that I mentioned just now.
Right. So energizing economic activities in rural areas would be very important. And, tell us more details here, Dato, why rural development needs to be emphasized in the 12th plan.
Okay, for regional development, the objective is to reduce gap, not only between regions. There are 6 regions in Malaysia, not only to reduce the gap between regions, between states. We also would like to see the gap between rural and urban to be reduced in terms of the income per capita and also for GDP growth. So the 12th Malaysia Plan set up the foundation to realize the spirit of Keluarga Malaysia, which will change the course of national development over the next 5 years to achieve the prosperous, inclusive and sustainable development for Malaysia. And the wide disparity between rural and urban, this remain one of the issues that brought us down for quite some time because the challenges, the issues in the rural development, that I say is insufficient infrastructure, services and amenities, and also inadequate rural-urban linkages. And also the rural economy now is still focusing on low value-added activities as well as in fact inefficient coordination among agencies, namely because there are many agencies that are involved in rural development, so they need efficient coordination among all the agencies that are involved in rural development. This, we have said, affected the rural population and the well-being and quality of life. So the rural development is one of the focus area in the 12th Malaysia Plan, in which we are going to address it to reduce the gap between the rural and urban, beside the gap between regional and also the states. That's what we are trying to do for the 12th Malaysia Plan.
Right. Before we go for a very short break, so you can catch up a little bit, take a breather, Dato. Just for those who join us later, which are the 6 less developed states?
Okay, the 6 less developed states. We have 6 less developed states: Kedah, Kelantan, Perlis, Sabah, Sarawak, and also Terengganu.
Okay.
That's the one that we are going to focus it more in terms of allocating of resources under the 12 Malaysia Plan.
That's right. And when we come back with my guest today, Dato Ahmad Zamri Khairuddin, we're going to talk about the importance of multiplying the growth in these less developed states in reducing the developmental gap. Back in a bit, right here on TraXX Momentum's bonus feature interview of the day.
Enjoy rides and dips in the river with the elephants in Kuala Ganda. TraXX FM 105.3 Kuantan, Pahang.
Welcome back to TraXX Momentum's bonus feature for today, Friday, 17th September 2021. As we approach, of course, lots of the official release tabling of, for example, Budget 2022, as well as the 12 Malaysia Plan, and that's the focus for this hour. If you just join us, I am speaking to my guest via the phone lines today, Dato Ahmad Zamri Khairuddin, who is the Director of Regional Development Division, Economic Planning Unit under the purview of Prime Minister's Department. Thank you, Dato, for being with us.
Welcome. Yes.
All right. And we're talking about bridging the gap, right, for the less developed states over the first part of the interview here, Dato. Can you share with us why is it important to multiply the growth of these less developed states to reduce the development gap?
Okay. Like I said, now there are 6 less developed states. They are going to focus in ensuring a more equitable socio-economic development. This effort will be intensified and accelerated the growth of these less developed states, and then we are coming out with the game changer aim at addressing the slow growth of these 6 states. And also we found out that these states are basically have not only low economic growth, but they also high incidence of poverty. The state. So we are having focus not only to increase the development of this state, but also to it's important that this state will improve in terms of the socio-economic level of their rakyat, in terms of reducing the high poverty rate among these states. Yeah.
Right, that's very important to address indeed. Yeah. Incidentally, with the upcoming revelation of the 12 Malaysia Plan, can you walk us through, share with us as well, what is the process to prepare the plan?
Yeah, just now I mentioned to you this extensive engagement with all the stakeholders, the ministries, the state government, the CSO. We have done it like for the past 2 years. So it's a very challenging now that they have what we call emergence of COVID-19 and also change of the government. So we have to recalibrate our plan to suit into the current situation. So the process of the 12 Malaysia Plan, the drafting is most challenging compared to the previous 5-year plan, taking into account the current situation. And like I said, there need to be more engagement and re-engagement because of the changes in the landscape, political landscape, and also the health landscape. So in this regard, we receive and coordinate all the feedback from all the parties, and we have the interagency planning groups, or IBhgs. We have established the technical working groups and focus group. These are all the mechanism in the process of preparing the 12 Malaysia Plan. And EPU serve as the chairperson of the secretariat of these IBhgs, and we also group in the ministries, private sector, and the society as members of the IBhgs, the TWGs, and the FGs. And as I said before, the extensive engagement and re-engagement with all these stakeholders are put up to the National Development Planning Committee, and then goes again to the Prime Minister Special Committee, and then to the Cabinet, and finally on the 27th of September of this year. We are ready to present it to the public in Parliament.
Okay. Right. 27th September is the date, yeah, Dato?
The D-Day. Okay.
Walk us through the guidelines. What is the framework, yeah, that guides the preparation of the 12th plan?
Okay. Like I mentioned to you, we have the review of the performance, the past performance of the 11 Malaysia Plan, the key policies, what are the achievement, the targets, whether we achieve the targets of the plan before, and then we analyze all the issues and challenges and get all the inputs of various stakeholders on how we're going to move our policies in the respective field. And then we analyze the current development, local and international economy, regional and global level of achievement, and what are the issues and challenges that are going to affect Malaysian economy. And after that, we come up with strategies, initiatives, and also the focus area that we're going to put forward to the government for the next 5 years. So at the first phase of the implementation of this, I mentioned to you about the shared prosperity vision. We spent started into 2021 to 2030. So it's a 10-year long-term plan. So the 12th plan is guided by this shared prosperity vision, and we call it this the first part of achieving the objective of shared prosperity vision, which is to achieve a decent standard of living for all citizens of Malaysia by 2030. These are the priorities of the 12th Malaysia Plan to align with what we call, which is the first phase of achieving the shared prosperity vision. And secondly, we also will align our vision with the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, under the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development Agenda, or Agenda 2030. And this shows that Malaysia is committed to implement the 17 SDGs through the policies, program, and initiatives under the 12th Malaysia Plan. And also we also looking into the account of 6R approach to COVID-19 pandemic, and to ensure the economic recovery of this of our economy is phased out under the National Net Recovery Plan as well as the 12th Malaysia Plan.
Right.
That's our extensive guideline for preparing the 12th plan.
Right, it's essentially like that skeleton guideline, towards the preparation of the plan. Lastly, right, before we recap some details on the tabling of the plan, Dato, how will the regional economic potential will be optimized under this plan to address inter and also intra-regional imbalances? Because that's very important, right?
Yeah, that's important because what I said is now the main focus of regional development is to reduce the gap between regions. We have 6 regions in Malaysia, namely the northern region, the central region, the eastern region, Johor as one region, Sabah and Sarawak also. So there are 6 regions in Malaysia. We are going to reduce the socio-economic gap. So between the regions, you have the intra-regions, including the states in between the regions. So we are trying to reduce the gap, and in the 12th Malaysia Plan, we have identified a few strategies and initiatives, and we're focusing on these 3 regions, these 6 regions, according to their strength, according to their strength and what are the resources that are available in these regions. So in this region, there will be more of what's called growth nodes that are being planned for these regions, and hotspot areas. These are areas that are surrounding the growth nodes, potential to be developed further, and the key economic activities will be enhanced through these key growth nodes and spot areas, based on the strength and the potential of resources available in these areas. And states will have to play an important role in the socio-economic development. So we are working with the state government to continue achieve what we are targeting for the 12 Malaysia Plan. This is very important because the state also and federal government have to work hand in hand to prevent some of the strategic development program, and the state also be involved in the driving the initiative, especially from the private sector projects. So we actually have to coordinate all this effort with the state government and the private sector to have more of investment and also job creation on these regions. And also the small micro SMEs, micro and small medium enterprise, it also play an important role in the development of key growth node and hotspots areas, and this will be encouraged further to move up the value chain, and also encourage them to involve in high value added activities, and also we also encourage the implementation of green growth initiative in terms of our commitment to SDGs. So industries will be encouraged to implement green growth initiative, because in the 12 Malaysia Plan we are putting it in a 3 dimension, mostly namely the economic dimension, the social dimension, and also the environment dimension. So we are putting this dimension so that it be guiding all the players in Malaysia to venture into their respective endeavors coming forward in the next 5 years. That's basically what we are putting up for regional development initiative.
Okay, right. So we have gone through a lengthy, detailed process here of getting to know how the plan is tabled, what it is angled towards, and of course to bridge the gap between the socio-economic situations in different states across Malaysia. So as a wrap up to all of these details, Dato, share with us again as a recap and as a closure for the segment today, when will the 12 Malaysia Plan be tabled?
Okay, lastly I would like to express again my gratitude and appreciation for FM and Kong you, especially for you, for having us in this session.
You're welcome, Dato.
Time for us to share the 12 Malaysia Plan, which will be launched and will be tabled in Parliament on the 7th of September by the Prime Minister Yang Amat Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, and it will be broadcast live on media platform. And our economic planning unit has developed a dedicated website for the 12 Malaysia Plan, and it can be accessed at www.rmke12@epu.gov.my. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dato, for being with us today. You take care.
I'll take care to you too.
All right, thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye.
My guest via the phone lines this morning to share with us about the 12 Malaysian Plan, what to expect. Dato Ahmad Zamri Khairuddin, Director of the Regional Development Division, Economic Planning Unit under the purview of the Prime Minister's Department. That has been a special feature right here on TraXX Momentum's first hour. In the meantime, lots more to come. Stay tuned.